What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ back in for another great episode. In today's episode, I'm just going to give you my recap on the Jets training camp. My experience was awesome. I definitely, enjoyed my time there. Obviously, I'm not a Jets fan, so you're probably thinking why I'm there. I just want to get firsthand. I want to see some guys, get out there and perform, and not at full speed, but half speed, just to see where they're playing, who's doing what. But, it was my first time ever at a training camp, so I had fun. So I don't want to waste any more time. So let's get right into the episode. Now I went to the Jets Green and White Scrimmage. It's basically their training camp they do annually where it's like their first scrimmage of the year and they go half speed. Like you really get to see what players doing what, how good is Zach Wilson, how good is Michael Carter, how good is Elijah Moore. That's literally what I went through on my agenda. But my eyes were glued really for Ty Johnson making noise, Tevin Coleman making some noise, even Corey Davis doing some good things, him and Zach Wilson connecting. It really looked like what I got from it was that Zach Wilson will go through his first read, which it could be, the tight end or Elijah Moore. When it's not there, he looks to Corey Davis. So what it's starting to look like is that Corey Davis is a security blanket for him, which is good for the rookie. You need those guys. You need guys that you could depend on, rely on. He's a veteran, so I obviously knew that Corey Davis was going there to be, the veteran mouthpiece in that wide receiver core, which is good news. So that's definitely something you want for a rookie quarterback so he can feel comfortable. Now, something else that I saw that was like I wasn't really, expecting it. I wasn't ready to see it, to be honest, but they had Elijah Moore and Michael Carter alternating, like basically punt return and kick return. But it was more so I was surprised to see Michael Carter doing like punt return. So I was a little disappointed not to see him, Michael Carter play with the ones either. Like he didn't play with the ones at all, like the entire night. So it was kind of like, what's going on? For fantasy, this isn't great. Obviously, a running back committee is there. We already know he's from the Shanahan prospect offense, the product of, the running back committee, Robert Salah as the head coach. So it's like, what do we do? In fantasy, I'm fading. You see the prior video that I probably already put up was like, fade running back committees, but I have another one coming out of why we should fade the Jets. So be on the lookout. So here we are, with Michael Carter taking punt return, kick return, not playing with the ones. Tevin Coleman looked it really good. I cannot lie. He looked really good, hitting the hole hard. He looked confident back there. Ty Johnson also getting the early down role with Tevin Coleman as well. They were splitting that. But again, these things aren't set in stone. The next practice, you might see Carter play with the ones and then Ty Johnson play with the twos and threes, etc. That's why, I went to this experience knowing like, all right, this isn't set in stone. This isn't definite. This isn't something that's going to be, going into week one. So all we can hope for is basically things change. Maybe, Ty Johnson gets less carries and then Michael Carter gets more carries, take Carter off a punt return, et cetera, et cetera. These are all hopeful things. Now, I really feel like, Tevin Coleman, he's one of the guys that's like set in stone to be heavily involved. So I think he has the leg up, if anything, obviously from experience, having that lead role before, taking over the lead role when guys went down with injury, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not telling you guys to go draft Tevin Coleman. I'm not telling you guys to go draft Ty Johnson. If you're thinking best ball, maybe, but it might be a waste. But this isn't good for Carter, being that he has a 6th-round ADP. But overall, my experience, there, observing everything else and stuff like that was basically, getting the understanding of how these things work with the ones, twos, and threes. So let me jump to Denzel Mims. Now, he's a guy that we were very hopeful for last year. Going into the season, to have a big year, we're already saying, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, but it's not really looking like that. It's really looking like it's Denzel Mims playing with the twos and threes, and he's just going out there, going with the emotions. I didn't see him catching out one ball. He's targeted twice. I really feel like, it's unfortunate that Mims might actually be on the, on the bubble to be cut because he's not fitting into the system. That's what I think it is. I think the system is not for him. Now, we see Corey Davis and we see Elijah Moore taken with the ones, and then they swap him out for Vincent Smith. That's a little surprising as well, not to see Mims in that situation, in that spot. the rotate. But Mims was just in the twos and threes, man. It was just very unfortunate to see. But we got to move on. Next man up. It is what it is. Something else that I noticed too was, with Elijah Moore, he is disgusting in traffic. Back to back balls on the drive, where Zach Wilson was moving the ball very well. But overall, Zach Wilson had a bad, scrimmage. It was like, one bad practice, but noticeable. But, the balls that he did get out, they look smooth. They look confident. He looked good in that pocket, stepping up, hitting Elijah Moore in like, thread the needle type situations where in traffic, Elijah Moore just snatched it out of the air and came down on the ground with it, which is great to know the rookie can do. So, I mean, going forward, though, it's like, man, they have a lot to clean up. The defense looked good, though. The defense looked very fast. They looked like, see ball, kill ball. They were very good in the red zone as well, where they stopped Wilson. Now, Wilson had 2 picks, and the 2 picks could have been avoided, with some of the decision making he did, but they struggled in that red zone, definitely. So that's definitely something they had to clean up. But worth mentioning too, we saw Piron, in the short yardage. They were on 3rd and 1. They needed, the 1 yard, obviously, and they put him in and he got it. So it seems like Piron is like the bowling ball for them guys where, in the red zone, we're seeing him, and I guess he'll be in some scoring opportunity as well, which again is terrible for fantasy. It's like not Carter, it's not Johnson, it's not Tevin Coleman, but it's Piron. Like, I don't know. But in those situations, they have 4 running backs. I don't expect all 4 of them to go into into week 1 on the roster. Maybe Piron is cut, who knows? So I feel like, overall for us going into fantasy, going into draft days, kind of have to fade that running back committee. You have to, be cautious about how high you draft a Corey Davis or Elijah Moore with Zach Wilson with early struggles. But again, I'm not putting in stone that he's a bust. I'm not saying that, he's going to be bad all season, but they have some improvement to do. They have some work to do. I definitely think, they'll get it together. It's a new offense, new system, new head coach, et cetera, et cetera. But the defense, man, they stood out. They got some linebackers that can stuff a lot of, the runs down the middle. And then they got some linebackers on the outside that can fly to hit that edge to stop that running back as well. Because Tevin Coleman looked like he was going to break for at least like a 20-yarder, but nah, man, them linebackers got to him. So I really feel like, there's a lot to unpack. I feel like, they have some work to do, but for fantasy, I would fade that running back group. Running back committees, I do not like investing in unless it's like a very high efficient, offense like the Baltimore Ravens or anything like that. But this I would avoid. I would be cautious with the wide receivers. I definitely won't be going crazy about them. Oh, and Jameson Crowder looked it very well too. He was making some plays when he got on the field as well. So I definitely like, I'd like a Moore, I like a Crowder, and I like a Davis, as a 3 wide receiver set. That is something that I'll be looking forward to. And that gives Zach Wilson plenty of options, plenty of weapons to basically grow and build some chemistry with some of these guys. I definitely think, like I said before, they have some room for improvement. And stars, or I'm not going to say the stars are limited because I don't know. It's the Jets. I mean, I feel like they're a good 6 to 8 win team, if I'm going to be honest with myself. But I think, again, they have some room to improve. So hopefully they do. So that's basically this episode. It was my recap, what I saw, how I felt, my opinions on things for fantasy, et cetera, et cetera. But, I felt like this was necessary. I mean, some people don't go to Jets training camp. I'm very fortunate to live only 45 minutes away from where they train. So, again, it was a good camp. I had a great experience at the Green and White Scrimmage. I definitely want to go to another one. I'll be at the Eagles training camp, though, in 2 weeks. So, I definitely want to see how that goes and get my eye in there and be firsthand to witness, Jalen Hurts. If he's doing good, if he's running a lot, if he's not, Sanders, of course. Let's see how Kenneth Gainwell it is, et cetera, et cetera. So, that should be a fun experience. I cannot wait. So, hope you guys like this episode. Hopefully, it was useful to you guys. But leave a like, comment, and subscribe for your boy. Your boy is almost at 1K. So, make sure you guys hit that link in the bio to check out the merch, man. Get yourself a nice RDFHQ or a fire content only shirt. Join the Wolf Pack, and I'll see you guys next week for another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Peace.